When did you start surfing the place consistent, Gerry? Before you got out of high school, right?
Well, I know. I went out there and got creamed a few times, but I never really had a good day out there until Brewer made me that minigun in late '67.
810, 86, what was that?
86 it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for us, for our group in Hawaii there. That was kind of one of the first shortboards of that whole period, and things really started to change from that point forward. And it was from that board that I started thinking, well, wow, maybe I could have a chance here at the Pipeline, because I loved the idea of the wave. I mean, it was a great laugh. It was really hollow, and it was just beautiful. It just lured you in.
It was a lot like Ala Moana Ball. No, don't fib, Gerry. You liked Ala Moana quite a bit by then. Now,
Ala Moana was a lot safer than the Pipeline.
Although don't let them kid you, folks. The ball there at Ala Moana on a good 6 foot, 8 foot day it can get pretty mean, and it's bend. And so I like to think that guys that surfed Ala Moana ball well, the guys like Wayne Santos and Gerry and Jack Yerberly, these guys, Carlos Andrade, because they were used to how quick the ball stood up and the bends and the different portions of the ball that you had to weave your way through, held you in good stead. Just like guys that surf wind and sea, because a lot of people compare wind and sea, the way it stands up and shifts around, to a difficult break like some of the island breaks that they do well over there, like the La Jolla crew did in the early 60s. Gerry?
Is this the back door?
No, Sunset.
Sunset.
It looks like Sunset Beach.
Yeah, back then, the late 60s and early 70s, when the shortboards really started to become, the whole reason that we were able to ride deep in the curl and perform a lot better on the waves. Sunset was actually the place. The Pipeline was not real popular.
Or Haleiwa.
Or Haleiwa, yeah.
Yeah, Haleiwa, Sunset, and Waimea when it got bigger. But this is, I think, 68. It's like a Hanapepe surf shop board that had almost no rocker and a ton of V, influenced by McTavish and Nat Young and Greenos' designs there that surfaced in, 67, 68.
Well, my eyesight's going, but was that the Purple People Eater?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. But this was a shot from, I think, around 1969 that Art Brewer took, and you were the only guy out. That was your 16-inch wide plastic Fantastic. And
I don't think it was that narrow, but you might have been right, yeah.
It was pretty narrow. I couldn't believe it. I
think
paddled out. I had a little 7.0 board that I made myself, and we swapped boards. I couldn't believe how good that board worked out there.
Yeah.
Because it was so narrow, it really held in.
I think the reason it was so narrow, Gerry, was I shaped one rail a little bit skinnier than the other one, so I had to compensate on the other side. But it was a good board because it had a round tail, and I think Danny Callahan helped me on some of the pointers about shaping it, and it was a good it was a functional board, turned easy, went fast, and the rail's buried there, which can be a good thing, but only if you could bring it out, because sometimes on a narrow board you sink it so much that you slow down, and then you're in for it. Oh, here's a nice day.
Yeah, look at that beach, with no one on it.
And nobody surfing
nobody
off
in
the wall.
the lineup.
Yeah, hardly anybody surfing the rights. Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
What would you say from the boards on the beach there? Early 70s, hard to tell.
Early 70s, yeah.
Nice
and
day.
the lack of people on the beach too. That's an indication.
Can we conjure up another day like that or two that we invite you over and get you out in the water? Huh?
You bet.
Was this the digital Sato?
Yeah,
shot?
this is the face in the wave shot.
Now, where is it? Right in the middle of the curl, Gerry? Or?
Right in the curl there. You follow my wake up. You can see the chin, and then the lips, and then the nose,
right.
and the eye, and the eyebrow. And
Right in the middle of the curl there, or?
Yeah, just kind of right. Follow my wake. But that again was an early shot. Seeing no leash, nobody on the beach, and.
Nobody paddling out.
Nobody paddling out.
Water photographer, not too many. Yeah.
Those are the days, boy.
Rory Russell on a good sized wave here. Now is
Yeah.
that what boil is that, Jerry? Is that like the one towards Ehukai a little bit, or
That's the one. That actually looks like somebody paddling maybe over the wave because.
on the right? But yeah, what about there in the middle?
Oh yeah,
Hard to
that's
tell.
the one right in front of Warren Harlow's house. That's the takeoff boil. That's the X that used to mark my takeoff spot.
And if you took off behind it, that meant that you were pretty confident about your chances. You'd done it before and gotten away with it, right?
Yeah. And Rory was, he was such a great surfer. He was one of those guys that surfing really came easily to.
Yeah.
He never had to really try anything, or, he was just naturally talented, and he had those long arms with those big hands, and he could paddle faster than anyone. He also was the biggest hog. I saw Joe Roper here tonight, and he knows that. He got dropped in on by Rory probably a million times.
Sean.
But that board that Sean has there was...
Is that the banana board? Jim?
That was
No.
the banana board. That was kind of a mistake, I guess, when they, his shaper made it back in South Africa, and he brought it over, and they originally designed it for sunset, and in my mind, I thought it would have been a really great sunset board because sunset was a much slower, more slopey wave than the pipeline, and this board had a lot of rocker for the period. But backside at the pipeline, it was really a magic board for him, and somehow he kept it in one piece for 4 or 5 seasons, I think, and he
There it
really
is.
had a successful career there.
And I think he was one of the earlier guys, although Jeff Hackman also did it, and we learned to do it at Pipeline and Sunset because of, like I was saying, the earlier days, if you were too far on your inside rail, your board tracked because the boards were wider than they should have been, or wider than we thought they should have been. But Sean was one of the first guys to do the S turns coming down the face, which looks like it's a kind of a fancy, unnecessary maneuver. But what it does is it gets your board up on the top and skating, kind of I guess snowboarders do the same thing, the shoosing kind of thing, and it gets you a lot of speed to be able to set your rail just where you want it at the bottom. But great surfer, Sean. Huh?
It's really great, yeah. Oh, this was another Sean. This guy was really great. You see that thing? That's a piece of 1/4-inch plywood. They called it a Pipo Nui. And
John Wada Lake, yeah. Some guys were riding Waimea on these things, folks, even.
And this guy's name was Sean here, and he used to be out there every day at the pipeline with us, and he was really good on that piece of plywood. Boy, he was amazing. This was, pre bodyboard, boogie board days, and there used to be quite a few body surfers out there. Some of them very, very skilled.
Like Larry Lundbeck.
Larry Lundbeck was probably the greatest, and now Mark Cunningham.
Yeah, and Ben Severson.
Ben Severson.
Who's the guy that beats Jerry at a lot of the body surf contests? A great pipe boarder. I mean, boogie boarder. Not Ben.
Mike Stewart.
Yeah. Mike's also an excellent body surfer.